and he said, just give me your credit card and let's get started. And and I was kind of shocked by that, kind of surprised by that. And I said, okay. I said, how much does it cost? And he said, does it matter? He said, dude, he said, look at yourself, dude. He says, you don't have a little bit of weight to lose. You have a lot of weight to lose, dude. You're in major trouble. And no one ever talked to me like that before. He was really direct, and I actually liked it. He said, do you have diabetes? I said, no. He said, how the hell do you not have diabetes? You're 400 pounds. And I said, oh, well, I don't know. And he goes, do you have knee replacements or hip replacements? I said, no. And he goes, how do you not have knee and hip replacements at 400 pounds? He goes, dude, you got to do something right now. You can't wait. And so without even thinking about it, I said, okay. I gave him my credit card number and I started. And one of the first things he told me, he says, trust the program, trust the science, trust the food, trust the program. And I said, okay. I said, dude, I'm going to be a blind follower. I don't know anything about this program. I've never heard anything about it. I'm not the kind who goes and does research on it. I just saw his picture and I saw the results and I said, I'm going to do this. And he said, you know what, dude? He said, this program, you're not going to be alone. You're not one of 10 people. You're not one of 100 people who are doing this. He says, you're going to be one of 70,000 people who are going to be there to support you and to push you along, and they're going to help you. And so I jumped right in. And the first day my box arrived, I turned to my wife and I said, I can't do it today. I can't start today. And she said, why? And I go, we have a pasta party tonight with our neighbors. And I'm making pasta al forno, one of my favorite Italian dishes. I go, we can't, I'll start tomorrow first thing. And she said, no. She says, if you can start it tonight and make it through tonight, you can do it whenever. And so anyways, I started February 4th of this year. I'm down over 100 pounds. And yeah, for a while, truth, I didn't want to celebrate it. And I told my wife, she says, you need to be telling people about it. And I says, I said, I'm celebrating a place that I never should have got to. So I don't feel right about celebrating it. And she says, no. She says, you need to celebrate all the little wins because it's going to help other people. And even Jeff said that. He goes, celebrate the little stuff. That's gonna change people's lives and let people know what it's done for you. And I tell you what, 100 pounds is a lot of weight. But the biggest thing is the non-scale victories. Really quickly, going in to get into a booth at a restaurant for the last 10 years, I'm embarrassed to go to get in a booth. I usually ask for a table. And if I do get in a booth, I do what's called credit carding it. I kind of lift my belly up and slide in the table between my waist and my gut. And then I have my stomach hanging over the table. And I don't have to do that anymore. I never have to worry about that. I can walk into any restaurant anytime and slide it right into the booth. My seatbelt extender that I've had for 10 years when I go on flights, we went back east a few weeks ago. And not only did I not need my seatbelt extender, the seatbelt was big on me. And my wife was laughing. She's like, this is awesome. These little things are the biggest difference. But I'll tell you the number one thing with Isagenix that is a difference is I've done every program out there and you have minimal success on those because you don't have the support like you do with Isagenix. The group of people, they push you along. They want you to be successful. They're there for you every minute. They have a happy post and they cheer you on with everything. And I know that on any given day I can pull up my Facebook and there's someone on there saying, hey, great job. You're doing awesome. Stick to it. Or you know what? We're struggling today. Who can reach out to us? And immediately 50 to 100 people reach out to them or hundreds of people. And I tell you what, I've got a long way to go and it's halftime. It's no matter what the score is, it's 0-0. And I have to push through it, but I can tell you what, my dad died of heart disease about 10 years ago. And that was hard. That was hard for me. He was the greatest man I ever knew. Within a year, my brother Chris passed away, and he was extremely overweight. And both of those left a big impression on me. And the first thing my wife said to me is she said, you are too important to too many people to go out like that. And you have a history in your family, and you need to take care of yourself. And if not for you, you need to do it for those around you and those who love you. And it has to start with you. It has to start with you having a desire, and you have to have people around you. This life is all about relationships. It's all about the people. And you want to know what an impact one little post by Jeff Beebe did to a complete stranger. I have now enrolled a few people under me, family members who are losing weight, who are working toward making themselves better again. And that's because of one little post by Jeff Beebe. And he has been a great cheerleader for me, and his wife, Debbie, and all of you guys. And I'm so grateful for the relationships I have and for these new ones. And that's it for me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love you. I appreciate you. I know I haven't met you in person yet. I am so grateful that you took the time to share, because I know that there's so many other people just like you out there that are looking for a solution, and they're wondering, I was like, well, I'm so far gone. Is there anything I can do? Or I've tried everything and it's not worked. Why would this work? And I think a lot of people have that fear of failure, because they feel like they failed at other things, and it's like, why wouldn't I fail at this? And I loved how you brought it all in, and you let the world know the truth, which is, if you have a why, the how, it's the easy part. The support, it's there. And it's so much easier to do it when you have a team, when you have people cheering you on. And I love Jeff Beebe because of his bluntness, and I'm the same exact way, and there's no sugarcoating. You know, we're not Willy Wonka. We don't sugarcoat anything. And I am so proud of you, and I know your story will inspire so many dads out there, so many other people out there that are searching for a solution. And you've just literally confirmed to them that there is a solution, and there is no such thing as too far gone. Because I know that there are too many people that are like, well, that's a lot of weight to lose. And I loved how you said, it's like, well, halftime, it's scored is 0-0. You know, how do you lose 100 pounds? 1 pound at a time, right? One shake at a time, one meal at a time, one lap, you know, bike or surf or run or whatever you want to do at a time. And your why is your family. Your why is you don't want your kids to go through what you went through when you lost your dad at such a young age, or your brother, right? I'm assuming your brother had a family and left the family behind. Or was
Yes, he left 3 children, 19, 16, and a 14-year-old girl. And the saddest part is, he lost his wife 5 years later to the exact same thing. And so they lost both their parents in a 5-year period, both to heart disease. So
how incredible that now you can guide people to the solution that Jeff Beebe has guided you to be able to pass this torch of health. I don't know what else to call it. I feel like an Olympic torch, you know, you're passing that to your nieces and nephews, so they won't go through what their parents went through, and to your kids and other people you haven't yet met, right? I mean, a complete stranger. You're in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have your goals for yourself, but you have a team to support you and keep you going. And as far as your wife, you got to give her a hug from me and tell her that she is one wise woman. And it's incredible to have her as a supporter and a big cheerleader, because Jeff Beebe is a big cheerleader, but having one at home, and that whole pasta is like, nope, you're starting today, forget your pasta. Yeah, if you made it through that night, you could make it through anything. And she was right. You're muted. I didn't hear that.
I said yes, totally, because pasta is an addiction for me. Well, that and Haagen-Dazs ice cream, but luckily both of those I've given up for a little bit of a while. So
So I'm going to tell you a little story. There's, we have a lady that's lost over 400 pounds on our team. And I don't know if you've ever heard her story. She was on hospice and the doctors basically told her she had to plan her funeral type of thing. I'll have her on here one time and share now soon, I hope. But I had lunch with her at one of our events, and I asked her, I said, how did you go from that food addiction to the new you 400 pounds later? And she goes, I divorced my addiction. I divorced food. And you've been through a divorce. I've been through Thomas been through a divorce. Most people know what divorce is, right? And that analogy works so well for me. I divorced potato chips. That was my addiction. So I'm like, well, I wouldn't go back and make out with my ex, right? Or if my ex called me or, ran into my ex at the grocery store and said, hey, let's hang out, I'll be like, not happening, right? So it's like every time I see potato chips, I'm like, oh, that's my ex. I'm like, I don't make out with my exes, right? And that's how I help quit my addiction to potato chips, right? So you got to find and you got to learn from, and that's what I love about it. You learn from other people and how they're doing it and see if it works for you and you make it your own. So when are you going to divorce your pasta? Or at least 90%. So thank you so much. I know your story will inspire so many people out there, and keep going. And I am so grateful that Jeff Beebe, was straightforward and got you on board. And it's a pleasure to have you on our team. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you very much. Excited to meet you too.
Thank you. Guys, where's my, oh, here we go. I'm like, where's my thing? Guys, look at this picture right here. This is what he was talking about, being able to sit at a restaurant. And that's him now. Like, how incredible. With one decision, you can not only do you change your life, but you can change lives of strangers and family members and loved ones and neighbors and whoever else you come in contact with. Well, how do we do that? We have the best nutrition on the planet. We have no compromise. Like I said, we're backed by science and nutritionists, responsibly sourced, undenature whey protein from grass-fed, pasture-raised cows, all natural ingredients. There's no artificial flavors, no artificial sugars. We're gluten-free. Guys, like, they've done the work for us. So it takes the guesswork as of like, a lot of people count macros, count this, do that. It's hard for someone that like me that doesn't know all this nutrition stuff. It's hard. But for me to just open a pack of shakes and mix it with water, that's easy. And to take the guesswork out of, did I have enough protein? Did I have enough carbs? Did I have enough sugars? Did I have too many sugars or too many carbs, right? It's science. It's done and made easy for us. So let me go on to our next share. Guys, you're gonna love Ryan's story as well. Not that you haven't cried enough already, but I'm gonna introduce you to Ryan. And he has only been with Isogenics for 2.5 years. And because of Isogenics, he's actually competed in bodybuilding competitions. He's an engineering manager, and he's a loving father of 2 beautiful girls. One is in college and one is a senior in high school. So Ryan, are you out there? Can you unmute yourself? Where is he? Please, there he is.
Yes.
There you is. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story. And please let us know what Isogenics has done for you.
Sure thing. And I'm probably going to be all over the board. I'll try and keep it between the lines.
There is no script. So from the heart, as long as it's from the heart, that's all we care about.
Yeah. So back in 2018, I've always been somebody that's kind of worked out, thought I could figure it out on my own, do my own thing, buy stuff from GNC and kind of make my way through. And that worked when I was, 29. But when I got to be 40, in my 40s, 43, wasn't working anymore. And I really just started to feel really bad, similar to Thomas. I mean, I almost never was diagnosed, but I almost think that I was in some sort of depression because I just felt bad. My body looked bad. I was taking on the male side of my family's form, which was like pear-shaped. And just, I have a desk job. And so every day I was sitting there and it just felt like I had a bowling ball in my stomach. And every day it just stunk, you know, to go to work and sit there and just feel that bad. And I live in Jennifer Trinkner's hometown. And so I was familiar with Isogenics. And one day I just decided to reach out, and because I had kind of gotten to the end of my rope, you know, you mentioned my girls, you know, so I was just kind of cooking for myself, and I am not a cook. And so I wasn't eating well, a lot of takeout, that sort of thing. And I just knew I needed help. And it was kind of, that even felt bad because it was like, you know, it's just food. This shouldn't be this hard, you know, but I knew I needed help. So I reached out, and I didn't care at the time how much it cost, what it tastes like, anything. I was like, when I talked to them, I was like, I can do anything for 30 days. Let me just give it a shot and see if it works. And I was like, that's all I'm going to give it, 30 days, and then we'll see. And by really day 2, funny enough, I was like, I figured out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, because at the time, you know, I was not a morning person. You probably could say I'm still not a morning person, but the second day on Isogenics, I woke up and I was like, something's different. I just feel different, you know, and within a week, I lost 10 pounds. And within the first 30 days, I lost 17 pounds. And I don't know how to explain it other than saying, you know, I had realized this is what I was going to do forever. Coincidentally, my doctor had just told me that I needed to go on cholesterol medication. My cholesterol had shot up to 266. You're supposed to be under 200. And I told him, I'm like, I don't want to go on another pill. Let me give this thing a shot. He asked me what it was. He was like, okay, I've heard of it. We'll see what happens. Within a month and a half, it had dropped to 228. And within 3 months total, it was down to 168. You know, and so he was like, you good? I got no complaints with that. Since then, I've also I was on acid reflux medication. Since then, I've gone off of that. So it's changed my life physically. You showed, you know, like the pictures, and I never intended on doing anything with some sort of bodybuilding competition, but it was like my workouts just started to be productive. It used to be I worked out to try and beat my fork. You know, I ate what I ate, and I worked out to try and stay even. Once I started this, I started to actually see muscle definition. Things I was doing for years, I actually produce results. I didn't change my workouts. I just started to see results. And I was like, that hooked me as well. Now I actually felt, it used to be a drag to go to the gym, and now it was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm actually seeing what's going on, you know? So there was that, you know, and then, you know, we've mentioned the community. That was a whole brand new thing to me. I mean, I've tried other things here and there. We're trying to follow diets and stuff, but when I got plugged into this and the support from everybody, where you're not doing this on your own, you're not alone, was just phenomenal, you know? So, I mean, it's, I can't even compare my life then to now. It's 180 degrees different. You know, and within 2 months of being on it, I was like Thomas. I was like, I'm not going to share this. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I had a good career, didn't need it for the money and stuff. I'm like, I just want to do this on my own. But after I had done it for 2 months and I saw what it did for me, how it changed my life in 2 short months, I was like, I'm going to put this out there, you know? And I work for a steel company, blue collar, you know, hard-nosed men and women. And I was like, I'm going to put a shirtless pic on Facebook. Are you kidding me? You know? And, but I was like, you know, I know what this can do for people. So I did it. And sure enough, I mean, people started reaching out to me and asking me, hey, what are you doing? That sort of thing. And since then, you know, I've had multiple people come to me that have started on the program and say, you know, dude, you have saved my life. You know, and it's like, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, I mean, I know what it's done for me, but to have people come up to you and really say you've saved their life, you know, that's just phenomenal. And then the added income on top of that, just doing this. I mean, I have a full-time career and I just do this in the pockets of my time, and it's just phenomenal. I don't know what else I can really share beyond that. I mean, if it's a question of you sitting on the fence and wondering whether you should try this or not and stuff, the best thing I can say is do it. I mean, I'm just like Thomas. I kick myself every day that I didn't start it sooner. I'm 46 now. I'm in the best shape. I don't know if I've ever been in this good a shape. It's just, I feel better than I did when I was 20. Physically, I'm in better shape. Medically, I'm in better shape. So if you're thinking about it, just try it. I mean, it's, if you don't like it for some reason, which I've personally never experienced, get your money back. But that's not going to happen.
I love that. You get your sexy back or you get your money back. There is no in between, right? There's just like, okay. And what I found is, you said that people come up to you and say you save their lives. I mean, we heard Jonathan. Like, can you imagine if Jeff hadn't posted that? And I'm sure, like you said, putting your picture, your shirtless picture out there, that's definitely out of your comfort zone, right? Because you knew that some people are going to have something to say. Oh, you're selling shakes, or it's like, you're doing what, right? Like, who do you think you are? Whatever stuff that, we always hear, and there's always going to be somebody. I talked to someone yesterday and I said, if you never had someone complain or disagree with you, then you haven't done anything in your life. And I'm like, that is so true. We're always going to have people that are just, it's not for them. And that's perfectly fine. It is for them. They just don't know it, actually. But, and
yeah, I knew I was going to get so much said to me when I did that, but I was like, it's going to help somebody, so I'm going to do it. Well, lo and behold, I mean, I have had so many people at my office start on Isagenix.
Right.
And, one of those people that said I saved their life works with me in my office, and my office is like an Isagenix store. I've got canisters everywhere. And he just started because he walked by my office all the time and he saw what I was doing. And he's like, let me try it. And then, 6 months later, he's coming in and telling me that he's lost 55 pounds. He had gallbladder surgery, and his surgeon told him while he was in there taking his gallbladder out that his organs were covered in visceral fat. I mean, he came out, and so he came to my office 3 weeks later when he was back from recovery. He was like, had I not ever talked to you, I wouldn't know what to do. The doctor told me this, but he didn't give me any advice on what to do. He's like, I don't know. He goes, but now I know. He's like, I'll never stop Isagenix. I know what I need to do to take care of myself.
I didn't even know what visceral fat was before Isagenix. I didn't. I just, it wasn't part of my vocabulary. And I know a lot of people don't even understand and know that, when we have that visceral fat, which is the fat around the organs, it actually suffocates your organs. So they can't function, their best. I mean, we're not making any medical claims. I mean, your cholesterol, your body did what it was supposed to do when you gave it what it needed. So we do not cure, treat, or, make any medical claims whatsoever. And in your transformation, in Jonathan's and Thomas's, everybody's transformation is different. Just because you lost so many pounds in a month or in a week doesn't mean that everybody will. But at the same time, it's like our bodies are designed to function at their best. So what Isagenix does, and I'm just explaining this for people that have never, I know you know this already, but I want people to understand that it's kind of like, and I always use the car example. It's when we do tune-ups on our cars regularly. When was the last time you did a tune-up on your body, right? And this is exactly what Isagenix does. It makes sure that you have the best fuel, the best oil, the best brake fluid, the best stuff, spark plugs and everything else you need in your car, right, in your body, so it functions at its best. And I don't think that you were right on the spot when you said it's having to cook and having to put together a meal and having to do all that, even though you knew and you were, working out and doing this and buying supplements. It's hard work. And like I mentioned earlier, this makes it so simple. It's like, oh, mix it with water, take it to go, whether you're in the office, whether you're in the car, whether you're at home on your couch or on, at the gym somewhere. It's super convenient. It's super easy. And it's the best nutrition on the planet. I mean, plain and simple. So how are your girls reacting to your transformation?
Well, they're a little older, so I mean, I know they see my stuff on social media.
Okay. Oh, so what did your teenager daughter said when they saw a half naked picture of their dad on Facebook?
They tend to just ignore it and not acknowledge it.
You're like, Dad, my friends, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
I can save their parents' life.
I did want to say something. One thing about that though, when I did the bodybuilding thing, just from a sports standpoint, you know, if you are taking supplements and that sort of thing now, I mean, I decided I was on isogenics for like about a year and a half, and decided to do that bodybuilding show 4 weeks before the show. And you know, usually like bodybuilders are like prepping 16 to 20 weeks before a show, you know, and I was like, wasn't even thinking about it, you know, and then 4 weeks before I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, you know, and really all I had to do off of the normal program was just tweak my fork and knife meal, you know, to make it a little bit better, because, you know, I tend to live on the 80-20 rule where my 20% is still not that great. So I kind of fixed that 20%, but 4 weeks before the show, and when it competed, got 2 seconds and a third. You know, so for a sports performance standpoint, if you're an athlete and that sort of thing, there's no better supplements and nutrition on the planet.
Thank you. Now, financially, because I want to kind of bring this in, because usually I have someone just share their financial story, but I kind of just have you guys put a little bit of each. Financially, how has Isogenics helped you out? And how hard was it to learn the business?
It wasn't hard at all to learn the business for me. You know, there's so much support, so much help, so many mentors out there. I mean, everybody's willing to help. Everybody's willing to fill in gaps, tell you what you need to know, show you what you need to know. And for me, it's been phenomenal, because you meet such a great, there's a great community with just the nutrition, and then there's an even bigger community when it comes to the financial side. You know, and it's been great from that standpoint. I have, you know, several just phenomenal business builders that I work with. And for me, you know, having the full-time career, you know, I haven't dove in, you know, 24 hours a day. I've been like, you know, when I have a bathroom break at work, when I, you know, an hour at night, that sort of thing. But I've just run into some phenomenal people that have also run with the business. And I don't want to paint a picture that it's easy, you know, it's still work, you know, but it's fun work. I mean, it's to find something you have a passion for, helping people get healthy, and then to get the financial benefits of it, which, you know, I mean, not to talk numbers, but you can, you know, to make car payments, house payments off of a side business.
Especially now. Yeah, especially now with COVID, when people need additional income. I mean, like, has this additional income helped you through this time at all?
Oh yeah. And one thing it's done for me is, you know, I didn't start sharing for the money, but then I quickly realized how beneficial it can be. And the thing it's done for me is it's opened my eyes to a different future than what I had before. You know, I was kind of, you know, looking at the straight and narrow, and I'm going to work till I'm 60, 65, my retirement, all that kind of thing. And this has opened my eyes to other possibilities, one of which being the time freedom that something like this affords you. And, you know, once you get it up and running, being able to consider, you know, changing careers, you know, and you know, retiring from my main career when I'm 46 now. Maybe I retire when I'm 50 from that, and I move into this, or maybe it's sooner than that. Maybe it's 47. You know, but when you go to an event, you know, you meet all the people that do this full time, and you see how you're able to spend your time with your kids, traveling, you know, doing all these kinds of things that you just can't do when you're working a 7 to 6, you know, type job, you know. So that's one thing it's done for me, not just the finances, the immediate finances I'm seeing now, but the future.
Yes, it definitely opens your eyes to residual income, which is, you're not trading your time for money. So that's definitely, well, thank you so much. Are you planning to compete again to get your pro card, right? To be
Yes.
part of Team
That-
Isogenics?
Yes, that is a goal.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate you sharing your story. And I know your story is going to inspire. Now, guys, if it's going to inspire people that you haven't yet met. And that's what I love about this, because I have it shared on my on my Facebook page, and we share it, and other people, and it's recorded also. So people will hear your story maybe 3 months, 6 months from now, and will be inspired by it. What are you showing me, Debbie? Your face. Oh, okay, there you go. She's showing me her Facebook. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to having you back on here whenever you're ready. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen really quick because I want to show you guys what we were talking about. Why partner with us? There's no overhead as far as the business part goes, right? There's no overhead. There's no employees. There's no inventory, right? You heard these guys. They work so hard. They own businesses. They put in their 9 to 7 or beyond, right? And you could have the ability to work from anywhere. There's no degree necessary. There's no artificial no caps on your earning, right? It's like, oh, you reach this. Nobody's going to tell you how much you're worth. It's up to you. You put in the work, you share, and we get paid to save lives. We get paid. You get paid to post, your picture on Facebook and find a Jonathan or a Ryan or a Thomas or a Christina or a Jeff or a Debbie, because that's how we started. Somebody told us about it, right? So you have the culture, you have personal development, time flexibility, you get the picture, right? So I want you guys to know that you can, get back to the person that invited you on this. But before that, I want to share this with you because I saw this earlier, and I truly believe that everybody needs to see this. I don't know if you've ever heard this or read this or seen this before. Why am I doing this? I can't, it's not working. Okay, here we go. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. How did we all start? We had the will to improve our lives. Guys, just think about it. Who do you know that has the will and the strength and the passion to transform their lives or to help other people, right? It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. How high? Can you see yourself on that stage if you want to compete? Can you see yourself 100 pounds less? Can you see yourself running and chasing your children, or surfing or bike riding or running or marathon or whatever it is that you've always wanted to do, but you put it in the back burner and you never got to, right? You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger, the faster men, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. All these guys, they didn't know if they could or not, right? They believed, they had other people support them, they had other people encourage them, and as a result, they're now inspiring thousands and millions now soon, right? You heard 3 incredible stories of how regular, ordinary people, just like you, just like me, became extraordinary. They all had different goals. They all had different whys. They all had different results, right? But they had one thing in common. One thing for sure, they use the same system. They use the same company. They're part of the same team, and they have the same program. Here's what I know. I said it and I'm going to say it again. People you have not yet met are struggling with the problems that you just found out that there's a solution for. We are on a mission to change lives. So why not yours? Your life matters. You're worth investing in. And the time you invest in your health is never, ever wasted. you can make your ideal life. You can live your dream life. You can have your best health. You can wake up in the morning and full of energy and ready to go and play with your kids, or take care of your parents, or go and hike whatever mountain, or swim whatever river or ocean you want to swim, right? And we also get paid to change the world. Here's what I know. We're living in a time where people are looking for solutions, just like the ones you found out about. It isn't complicated. We're here for you. The person that invited you here cared enough to share this with you. We're here to support and to help solve the problems that you're having with a proven system and a proven solution. And guess what? It's money back guaranteed. You get to do this. Try it out for 30 days. And if for some reason you don't get your sexy back, I don't know why. I mean, these guys got it. Why not you? So you get your sexy back, or you get your money back. Imagine going to your favorite restaurant and say, hey, come and eat here, and we guarantee that you're going to feel amazing. And if you don't eat, you eat here twice a week, twice a day for 30 days. And then at the end of the 30 days, if you don't feel and look amazing, then we're going to give you all your money back that you spend at our restaurant. Would you go eat at that restaurant? If the grocery store told you that if you buy your groceries, buy your 30 days groceries here, and you'll feel amazing. And if you don't, we'll give you all of your money back, even though you ate your groceries. Would you not go shop at that grocery store? That's what we have. We have an online grocery store that has the best nutrition on the planet that can fuel your body or the body of the ones you love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time and watching this. I love you guys. Get back to the person that invited you here, because you deserve the best version of yourself.